What is up, everyone? Now, before we get all hot and heavy in the transfer market and the Confederations Cup that's upcoming and World Cup qualifiers, which time out. Did I tell you guys I'm gonna be in Mexico City for the US-Mexico World Cup qualifier that's happening on June 11th?
I haven't told you?
Well, I'm gonna be there and I wanna do pickup games on multiple days. Probably this Saturday, June 10th, and in the morning on June 11th, which is a Sunday. The game's happening that night. And if you guys want in, then hit me up. Si se puede. So anyway, before we get to that fun summer stuff, it dawned on me that I had done predictions for La Liga and Serie A too, but they were shortened versions, if I remember correctly, because I was on vacation with my family, I think. Maybe. That was a really long time ago.
But I've been wanting to take my beautiful family to Portugal for years now, ever since I came here for a preseason and fell in love with its kind people and the magic of its cities. And this time, in August 2016, was the best time for that to happen, so we're doing it.
So yeah, I was right. We were on vacation. It's nice to be right. Just like I'm gonna be with my predictions, starting with Serie A first. The reigning champions Juventus, who have won the league the last 5 seasons, which should make all the other clubs in Italy very ashamed of themselves, are going to win the league again for the 6th straight time. The first time that has ever happened in Serie A history, and it's not even close. I mean, 2 seasons ago, they had a central midfield that consisted of Pogba and Pirlo and Vidal, and this season it's Marchisio and Pjanic and Khedira. Now, those guys are solid, but they're not those other guys. Plus, they got Roma's best player, who I just mentioned, Pjanic, and they got Napoli's best player in Gonzalo Higuain, who are their 2 closest competitors, and then they added Dani Alves, and they are just an unstoppable force, and they have confidence, which is key. Also, Gigi Buffon. As for the rest of the clubs, I'm sure their managers are saying, look at what Leicester did in England last season. If we believe, if we work together, we can do it too. Newsflash for all you managers in Serie A, no. No, you can't. Okay, so maybe I overstated the impact of losing Vidal and Pogba and Pirlo, because I feel like Juve has become better since they left, because it seems like they're playing more like a unit and not just a bunch of superstars that are sharing the field together. Also, I know it wasn't hard to pick Juve to be the champions yet again. I can admit that. So who's next? Roma, Roma, Roma. What the? If you're gonna sing it, sing it! Roma, Roma, Roma. Because it's a metaphor for life. You don't do something if you're not gonna jump in with both feet and give it everything that you have. Manager Luciano Spalletti has only lost 1 league game since taking over as manager in January, so that bodes well for the upcoming season. Also, they have this incredible player coming off the bench. He puts the super in super sub. He's gonna score a lot of big goals. I can feel it. And his name, maybe you've heard of him, Francesco Totti. Roma's gonna finish second. I said second, and they finished second. Damn it, I'm too good at this. No, seriously, you need to calm down. That's like the easiest first and second place call in the world behind Benfica and Porto. You know what? You're right, but f you for calling me out. Yeah, I said it. Who's next? Inter Milan. Oh, this should be good. I hope I took the piss out of Frank de Boer as manager, because he was terrible. I really like the decision by the new owners to hire Frank de Boer. I feel like it was really smart. I think it was time to move on from Roberto Mancini. Oh Jesus, just fast forward it to the end. But I think they're gonna be pushing for a Champions League spot this season. Third. Third? Third. I mean, what was I smoking on this vacation? Actually, I was smoking nothing, because I've never smoked anything in my entire life. That is a true story. Okay, who's the next team? Napoli. If owner Aurelio De Laurentiis continues to publicly criticize his players like he did to 36 goals in 35 games from a season ago striker Gonzalo Higuain, which apparently made it easy for Higuain to leave Napoli and join Juve. Wait, hit that pause button. Higuain is not afraid to have a little pooch, is he? I mean, he's like the opposite end of the spectrum from Cristiano Ronaldo physically, which means we should probably worship him more than we do CR7, because he's more like us, right? We're all gonna have a little pooch one day in the future if we don't have one already. Anyway, what else did I say? They're never gonna be a serious threat in Serie A, but maybe the Europa League. Fourth. They got third, and they could still end up in the Europa League, so this one wasn't too far off. And now, Fiorentina. With Roma and Napoli losing their best players to Juventus, the time is now for Fiorentina to maybe make that climb to be the 2nd best team in the country, with the key word being maybe. Also, keep an eye on Federico Bernardeschi. The 22-year-old winger striker is my pick to be the breakout player of the season. Also, ×2, Fiorentina's finishing 5th. Ah, man, I should have really highlighted that word maybe. because they weren't close to 4th. They finished in 8th, but Federico Bernardeschi didn't have that bad of a season. The 23-year-old number 10 had 14 goals and 5 assists in 37 games in all competitions. But my breakout player of the year in Serie A has to either be Dries Mertens, who had 5 goals last season, only to have 28 goals this season, though we could argue he has a very good supporting cast, or Alejandro Papu Gomez for Atalanta, who had 16 goals and 10 assists this season to help his club finish 4th, which is their highest ever finish in Serie A. And if I remember correctly, and I don't always remember correctly, I think we have one more team to talk about, AC Milan. Before I get into the meat of what I'm gonna say about this club, what happened to them? They used to be so great. New owners, new coach, new players, same old uncertainty about what the identity of the team is. I miss the good old days. 7th. And after watching this season, I still feel the same way about them. But now, let's get to La Liga, La Liga, La Liga, La Liga. And who is gonna be first? Oh yes, the defending champions, Barcelona. The reigning champions, Barcelona, have won the league the last 2 seasons, which should make all the other clubs in Spain very ashamed of themselves, are going to win the league again for the 3rd straight time. And don't get me started about how they barely won the league last season. They had 2 bad weeks out of 40, which at the time gave the Madrid clubs hope that they could possibly catch them. But instead, it only made Barca even more focused, with Luis Suarez scoring 1,000 goals in the last 5 games of the season or something, proving that they can handle the pressure and the expectations with relative ease and complete class. Which Tottenham, if you're watching, you should take notes on how that's done. As for the rest, well, I'm sure their managers are saying, look at what Leicester did in England. If we work together, if we believe, we can do it too. Newsflash for all the managers in La Liga that aren't from Madrid. No, you can't. Barca were only not good when they were trying to make it exciting, or when their top players were flying halfway across the world to play in World Cup qualifiers, and I'm not sure if you buy that as an excuse or not. So the realistic race in La Liga is qualifying for a European competition, and I guess to see which Madrid club can stay healthy enough to win the Champions. Lost to Alaves at home, which was their only home loss of the season, then they would have won the league. So damn you, Alaves! Don't you know that I don't like being wrong? Also, Barcelona, your recent signings weren't very good, and they didn't help your cause. But they did help the cause of your rivals, who are known as Real Madrid. With a surprisingly quiet transfer window, their only move of significance was buying back Alvaro Morata from Juventus. Los Blancos finally used a summer being happy with the players that they have, which is a foreign concept for a club that seems to pride themselves on being active in the buying and selling of players. So we'll see how that works out for them. Also, we'll see how it works for Zinedine Zidane in his first full season in charge. And this bumps me out because I felt like I made a pretty sound argument about why they were gonna be very good this season, and I still picked them to get second. They were keeping their core intact. That's a good thing. Too much turnover sometimes is not good, too detrimental to the core and the confidence and the belief of the team. Also, I want to give another hat tip to Zinedine Zidane. I know I complimented him last week. I'm going to do it again. He has really impressed me as a manager. Like, really impressed me. Anyway, who's next? Atletico Madrid. I'll be honest, I have a soft spot for this club and their manager Diego Simeone. Maybe because it's their hard-working, never say die style that has some talent hidden in there, and that's something that I could relate to and how I used to view myself as a player. So you have all of these elements, and then you have their manager Simeone pulling the strings, and then you add in Kevin Gameiro from Sevilla and Nico Gaitan from Benfica to bolster their options up top, and they could be challenging for the title. So my heart says they're gonna get first because I think it would be really cool to see them do it, but my head says they're gonna get third. Oh, isn't that sweet? Look at that before manager Eno existed love of Kevin Gameiro before he got infected with Gamero-itis. Also, I'm glad I listened to my head because Atleti did finish in third, and now I see how I'm doing these La Liga predictions. So who's gonna finish in fourth? Celta Vigo. Sure, they lost one of their top players in Nolito to Manchester City, but they made some shrewd moves in the transfer window, including signing one of the hottest prospects in the world, 22-year-old Danish international Pione Sisto. And I apologize, I'm pretty sure I butchered his name, but he is a great player, and he's gonna pick up some slack left by Nolito, which means with everyone being bang average outside of the top 3 super clubs, fourth will be theirs. Celta Vigo, no! They finished in 13th, so don't even bother watching whatever else that I said. It just doesn't, no. God, you're awful at this. No, you stop it. Shut your mouth. Shut it. Okay, who did I say was finishing in 5th? Sevilla. They wanted to get 4th, but they prefer to play in and win the Europa League. 5th. What a snarky I am sometimes. But I was close! They finished in 4th, which only puts them in the Champions League qualifying playoffs. So they could still end up in the Europa League, very much like Napoli. Who's next? Villarreal. I'm pretty positive they would love to get 4th again this season, but with Roberto Soldado out for 6 months with a torn ACL, and Marcelino, their manager, who didn't put a step wrong last season, getting sacked last week after falling out with the players in the boardroom, it is just way too much drama. 6th. All right. So basically, if you lose the whole Celta Vigo thing entirely and pretend that didn't exist, and if you flip-flop Real Madrid and Barcelona, then I nailed these predictions! As did a lot of you warm ballers in the comments. Okay, I know you can't see me anymore, so I'll see you tomorrow instead. Later.